Trapmore gang, there has been an interesting update in the Lil Durk trial today, and you might be surprised to hear me say that this is actually one of his best moves yet. And if this goes to plan, this might be the most surefire way that he's got to get out of this situation. But it's not looking good, and there is a lot of misinformation circulating around what has happened today in court. And I'm going to break it all down for you in this video, and I'm going to explain it to you in a way that nobody else out here in these YouTube streets is going to explain it to you. I don't think anybody is understanding what Durk's really trying to do but me. So let me get to it, okay? This has been going around today. It says Dee, Boogie, and Brown Eyes are in agreement with the government requesting that the trial be pushed back to May the 4th. But Durk does not agree. So this has been going around. There's been paperwork, and I've got all of the paperwork here, but I'm not going to bore you to death with the paperwork. It's not really that relevant. But as it says here, okay, basically it says defendant Banks does not join the stipulation to continue the trial in this matter. Nonetheless, the stipulating parties agree that pursuant to the law, the time period from the date of the stipulation is filed to May the 4th, 2026, inclusive, constitutes a reasonable period of delay for defendant Banks, who is joined for trial with co-defendants, as to whom the time for trial has not run, and no motion for severance has been granted. Everybody is missing the point on this, okay? I'm going to look at some of the comments in a minute, but I'm going to explain to you why everybody's missing the point on this, okay? Durk, there's been attempts to sever the trial. There's been attempts to separate the defendants. There's been Dee's trying to separate. You know, people were saying maybe Vonnie's telling, all these kind of things. We don't know for sure. But what we do know is that the request for the trials to be separated has not been granted. Now, this is a big deal for Durk and for the co-defendants, and the reason that Durk is trying to keep his speedy trial going and let everyone else delay theirs is very important, and it's the smartest thing that I've seen him and his lawyer Drew Findling do in this whole situation. And I'm going to explain to you why. The reason why Durk wants to separate his trial, and the reason why the others want to separate their trial from Durk, ironically, is because Durk is not being accused of being there. He's not being accused of jumping out the ride with a gun shooting at somebody. He definitely is in a lot of trouble. He was on a private jet and he was in Los Angeles the day that this went down. I told you guys before, I thought it was a smoking gun. If you'd have told me, when I saw that footage of Quando Rondo screaming no over the body of his dead cousin on the news, if you'd have told me Lil Durk was in Los Angeles when that went down, I wouldn't have believed you. I'd have said, no way is this guy that dumb. No way is this alleged gang leader that stupid that he would have flown in on a private jet and just kicked it in the same city as this horrendous public execution was going down. I would have said that would have been the dumbest crime of the century, but lo and behold, that's what happened. But setting that aside, okay, he's being accused of organizing this thing. He flew in on a private jet. He allegedly gave people opportunities. Allegedly, bounties were put up. Allegedly, he wanted this to happen, okay? And look, he's innocent until he's proven guilty, but it's pretty obvious who wanted this to happen, okay? People want to say, oh, Lil Pab ran off on the plug. Oh, Quando had a beef with some other guys from Savannah. Maybe they went to LA. No. King Von tried to beat up Quando Rondo and got killed by his homie, okay? Lil Durk was harassed with a Slide for Von campaign for years, literally years, 2 years. He is the person. Lil Durk, sure, a bunch of other Von's friends too, and all the other guys that were shooters. But nobody wanted this to happen. Nobody wanted Quando dead more than Lil Durk. Nobody was happier about Quando's cousin Lil Pab being killed than Lil Durk. But he's not being accused of being a trigger man. So why does this help him? Why is this the most genius thing that he has done in this whole trial? Well, here's the thing. Some people are saying, oh, they're throwing Durk under the bus. They're trying to sever their charges with Lil Durk and throw him under the bus. Well, actually, if they got this situation severed and they said, okay, we're going to have a murder trial over here with all of the guys that are alleged to have ran up on Quando Rondo and his cousin Lil Pab with the guns, that's a separate situation to the murder for hire trial where they're saying Lil Durk directed and pointed out these guys and told them to do all of their things. Now, it would be a lot worse to go to trial for murder for hire after the murderers have gone down for the crime. So if Dee, Boogie, Brown Eyes, if they all go down for the murder and they have a trial before Lil Durk's pretty much cooked. And not only that, but one of these guys, you go down guilty for the murder, you say, fuck it, I'm a flip on Durk. That's who you really want. I'm a flip. I've gone guilty. Maybe I can get a few years shaved off my sentence. And if they've already been convicted of the murder, and this is the same thing as like Lil Durk's brother D-Thang probably would be getting murder for hire charges or accessory to murder charges if he was still alive after all of them O Block 6 guys went down for the murder of FBG Duck. Here's the interesting thing that is going on here. The reason I think that this is all happening, and I think Drew Findling is a very good lawyer, I think what they're trying to do here is they're basically trying to say everybody else wants their trial pushed back, and it's reasonable because this trial is happening way too quick. I'm not in disagreement that this trial shouldn't be happening so soon, but it would be a genius move if Durk could push everyone else's trial for murder back. He could keep his murder for hire trial happening in January, and then he's not got a mountain of guilt and evidence and convictions on the murder that's already happened. If anything, Durk beating the murder for hire charge on his own before the other guys have gone to trial, that's the most likely scenario where he's going to beat the murder for hire charge. There's much more reasonable doubt that he didn't actually organize for this murder to take place if the murder hasn't already been prosecuted. But the state aren't having it. And now there's some misinformation going around. I think a lot of people have been talking about saying the trial has officially been pushed back. I haven't seen any confirmation or paperwork. So shout out to Durk All Day on Twitter, aka Durk's Imaginary Manager. He's been following this whole thing, and he has been posting all of the docket and the folders and the files and the paperwork. Now, the latest paperwork that came out 9 hours ago is this government request for the trial to be pushed back. It says current trial date, January the 20th, 2026, proposed trial date. What would that be? May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, 2026. And they point out a few interesting things. And again, we're not going to go through this whole thing, okay? Basically, it's saying Durk first appeared before a judicial officer in the court when the charges were pending on November the 14th, 2024. The Speedy Trial Act originally required the trial to commence on January the 23rd, 2025. And basically saying, look, he's got a right to a speedy trial. He wants his right to a speedy trial. And it said, you know, there was different trial dates put forward, January the 7th, which is basically 2 days from now. And then the court set a trial date for, you know, the next person for January the 14th. But basically, they do need more time. Like, it is ridiculous that this is even going ahead so soon. Now, some people are saying, well, you know, this is proof that the feds, and a lot of people love to put this out there and say, oh, this is proof that the feds are unprepared. They ain't got no evidence on Durk. They ain't got nothing on him. They ain't got nothing on him. Bro, they got a lot on him. All right, they got a shitload on him. But I think what's happening here is Durk is being very sneaky, and it's the best move that he's pulled in the whole trial, where he is basically saying, I want my speedy trial. I want my right to a speedy trial to go ahead. Don't worry about the other guys. I'm down for this severance to happen, but the severance hasn't been granted, and I think he wants to have his trial first so that he can hopefully beat his murder for hire charges before a whole bunch of other people and other evidence has been brought forward for the actual murder itself. So we're now seeing proposed dates. Motions due on March the 16th. Oppositions due on March the 30th. Optional replies April the 6th. Hearing date and a pretrial conference on April the 13th. And the May the 4th trial, okay? Now, there hasn't been an official confirmation that this has been accepted by the judge. This has just been filed, and I think there is a little bit of misreporting or jumping the gun reporting where basically people are thinking, well, the trial is officially delayed. Well, the trial's not officially been delayed, but I do think that this delay will take place. I do personally feel like the judge isn't going to have it. I don't think this is going to work. There's also been a lot of back and forth about you know, there's several cooperating witnesses who have testified that Durk was the real organizer of the killing. A lot of this case is based on witnesses. It's based on witness testimony. It's based on people basically willing to get on the stand and snitch or tell and basically make it official and say Durk organized this. Durk was the kingpin. Durk was raising the money. Durk was putting out the rewards. So I think this is the greatest move that Durk has pulled in this whole situation. If on the slight off chance he actually gets granted this speedy trial ahead of his compadres, I think that is the best shot out of everything that he has got of beating these charges. And it's still not looking good. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to tell you guys what you want to hear. This is the best move that he's made, but it's still looking really bad. And there's still a lot of evidence. They've still got the witness testimony. So let's see how people are reacting to the news of the trial being pushed back. People are saying if they're not going to take the blame and clear his name, let him go to trial early. That's the irony. That's not how it works. It's not as easy as them saying, no, we're taking the blame. We're taking the blame and Durk didn't do nothing. Well, what about these iMessages that we got? What about this witness that says Durk organized the whole shit? We're not having it. It's not as simple. Okay, it's not as simple as just them saying we're going to take the blame and clear his name. Okay, but at the same time, okay, if he beats his murder for hire charge, they might think, well, we ain't trying to take the blame. Like, if you beat your murder for hire charge, we're all trying to go not guilty on this. People saying they're all effed. His Cody's caught red-handed, though. I can't blame them. Nobody in a rush to go to Big Sandy or McCreary. And ain't nobody finna take a murder rap so you can go and live a great life and stop sending commissary after 3 years. Pretty much all of that. Only the family stuff goes out the window in this case. Durk learning the hard way that dudes are selfish. Well, Durk is the most selfish because he made everyone else throw their life and their opportunities away for his bloodthirsty need for revenge. Von was in the wrong. Von was in the wrong and Durk's in the wrong. Anyway, says, yeah, Durk ready for trial. I think the least amount of evidence on him, but they keep pushing the trial back when the feds have been known to do that when they claim they got all this evidence on people. He was saying it's his co-defendants that aren't ready. That's why. But the feds never want to push back trial. They just want to get you out the way quick. I think the feds basically... I personally feel like the feds are actually waiting to basically do an investigation. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised, in my opinion, if the feds are actually trying to put more charges on Durk, some witness intimidation. You know, he had an Apple Watch in prison allegedly, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're basically thinking, no, we're going to do some more digging. You guys have probably snitched on yourself even more since you got in the pen. They're saying Durk needs to get his case severed. Now, from what I understand, Durk wasn't even the one looking to get his case severed, but now we're hearing that he's demanding his speedy trial. The state are trying to push it back, and this is also another grounds for an appeal. If he ends up getting his trial delayed, he might be able to create some kind of appeal. It says Durk needs 70 days total when his lawyer files that violation of speedy trial later this year or next year. I see the play. I got 52 days counted after I presented like 2 years worth of speedy trial violations. We're saying it doesn't work like that, Brody. The feds can waive the time over your objection with good cause. Good cause can be a witness not being able to be present, your co-defendants, etc. And this commenter is claiming that they've been through this before. It says, me, I've been to 71 West Van Buren. I went to federal trial on 5 counts and filed dismissal based on violation of speedy trial rights. You're capping. People saying, was the dismissal successful? People saying, I got 52 days out of 70, which is real good, but I needed 70 days to walk free. Blew trial and got 288 months. Came home on appeal after 110 months. So I don't know if I believe this. Bapping, how clown, you took your time. You clearly bapping, how clown, bapping, how clown, you took your time. You clearly lost emotion. Lol. Nothing I said was false. Goofy fought the state and fed cases my whole life and was pro se my last 2 cases. Going pro se, defending yourself is actual insanity. Okay. But we're not going to get into all of that. It says people are trying to work out when it's going to start, all of that stuff. And then let's have a look at how people are reacting to the rumors that there are witnesses that know that Durk was the ringleader. Who are saying, you do know that that's not an up-to-date photo of Durk. He's been locked a year now. These are AI photos. That is an AI photo. I think that's the same photo, and they've just removed his hair. Because apparently he has cut off his dreads in the penitentiary. People saying they don't believe it. People saying, of course it's true. It's evident. Sometimes you don't want to believe it. They all flipped fast. You know, a lot of people are saying that maybe it's Vonnie or other people that were around Durk, around this situation, that have decided to tell. People saying, fuck around and still come home. They're saying he's got 7 witnesses. Only way is he gets off is he pays the judge. People are saying, ain't no 7 witnesses. Only reliable ones are the ones charged with him. And it seems like none are snitching besides Vonnie, because the rest are trying to build a defense while Durk is ready for trial. Durk isn't ready for trial. There is no ready for trial. He's cooked. I'm sorry, it's true. This is true, but most of those will get cooked on the stand by his lawyers. Not saying he's coming home, though, but it'll probably end up being 2 or 3 that's actually credible if MFs are just using this case to get out of whatever the feds got on them or to get out of jail. You're saying Durk will be home sooner than y'all think, not before Rondo number 9. Rondo had a 12-year head start. I got a feeling he'll be home this Christmas. Yeah, look, I'm going to just keep it real with you guys, okay? I think the likelihood that Durk beats this is very small. If he gets his case severed and he gets to have his speedy trial and the others get to wait until May, that's the best chance that he's got. It's a slim chance, but it's the best chance that he's got. I'm wishing him a fair trial. I'm wishing him a speedy trial. I'd like to see the trial this month, but I do think that this will get delayed. I don't think the judge is going to play ball. I think Drew Findling is getting an incredible retainer. I think he's getting paid to do all of this nonsense, throw all of this shit at the wall. None of it's going to stick, probably, and it's going to go how it's going to go. Drew Findling is making a name for himself, right? I'm seeing he's doing magazine covers, $1 billion lawyer. Have you seen this? See, when a lot of people are saying Drew Findling, he never loses a case, he only picks cases selectively. Yeah, but he's picked this case because this case has been a hell of a profile builder for him. He's out here calling himself the $1 billion lawyer. And, you know, this is as much about Drew Findling lining his pockets and raising his own profile as it is about Lil Durk getting his freedom. And I feel like this might not be a winnable case. But look, I will keep on top of this for you guys. Okay, I'll keep track of this situation for you guys. All right. Drew Findling's definitely getting his billions out of this. Lil Durk, he might have made his own bed and he might just have to lay in it, okay? But this is the smartest move that I've seen in this whole thing so far. I'll keep you guys updated if anything else happens. You can get in the comments with your hate and your pissed off vibes about me not just saying Durk's going to beat this, he's going to be home. This is a good move. I'm not going to lie, this is a good move, but there's so many things working against him. It's a long shot. So I'll keep you guys updated, man. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'm out here, gang. Peace.